All right. Should make sure that we are recording. Hold on. Yes. Okay. Good deal. All right. Well, thank you guys all for being here or taking time out. As we said, there's so many things you could be doing on a Friday evening, but we're so glad that you're here with us. So my name is Julie, and I, along with several of the other women that are on the call tonight, who'll be sharing their stories later, are a part of a unique community called the Healthy Living Revolution. And we are a group of people that our goal is really to come alongside individuals and families to help them take their health back in simple and doable ways, and in the context of community where it's always more fun to do things together. And so we want to do that by inspiring healthy living all around the world. Honestly, that is our mission. So we're so glad that you could join. We're going to have some education, kind of get to know about where we're at, a simple solution, and then the stories, which I always think are the best part. So be sure to stick around for those. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Just 1 second here. Sometimes my screen will stick for a moment. There we go. So where are we today? We are unhealthy, unfortunately. If you look around, you can probably confirm that is true. Maybe in your own life, in your own family, or certainly in the people that you know. So 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease, 1 in 2 women, and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050, and 1 in 5 children is obese. Dr. David Katz, who is head of Yale Prevention, he said that our children are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. He also is the doctor that said that this generation of children would be the first to not live as long as their parents, which, I mean, that should be making the news every night, I think, right? I mean, that is really quite a tragedy. In fact, the CDC has lowered the life expectancy rate for the last 3 years in a row, and we're down to somewhere in the mid 70s. It's young. I mean, I think it's my mom's age. It's somewhere 73, 74 right now is the average age. So here we are in our, first world country with all these medical advances, and yet we cannot figure out how to be healthy. There's a couple of reasons for that. We're not going to be able to hit all of them, but tonight we'll focus on a couple. The first one is that our environmental toxins are increasing. So whether it is the air that we're breathing, if it's the water we're drinking, if it is the food we're eating, we are just bombarded by toxins. They're in the air, they are in the water, they are on our skin when we put different products on, if it's laundry detergent or shampoo or lotions, you name it. We have so many things coming at us, certainly not like our grandparents or even our parents' generation. Our bodies are, we do have the ability to detox, but it's coming at such a rate that it's getting harder and harder for us to keep up. At the same time, our food quality is decreasing. And while food used to be an asset in this category of helping our body detoxify, unfortunately, no longer the case. First of all, 50% of what people are eating today is processed, unfortunately. They're full of the things that you see on your screen, none of which are good. And then we have, when we do eat whole food, we have the fact that it's not as nutritious as it used to be. The Guardian tells us that broccoli could lose 50 to 80% of key nutrients even before we purchase them. So what can we do to be healthier? This is where we're at, but obviously we're here tonight because we want to make a change. So some of the things are exercising, sleeping 7 to 8 hours, managing stress. Stress is known as the silent killer. Drinking plenty of water. A good place to start is half your body weight in ounces. And a good way to do that is filling up a container with that amount of water every day and putting it somewhere where you will see and commit to finishing it. I do that every day. Use safer products, and there are so many wonderful companies out there now, offering healthier products. And then what we're going to focus on tonight is eating real food. And within the eating real food, we're going to focus on fruits and vegetables. And why? Because experts are agreeing that most diseases, the ones that we talked about, are preventable with good nutrition. In fact, Dr. Bill Sears says that 75% of chronic illness is preventable with good nutrition. So here's a little piece of why antioxidants, which are found in fruit and vegetables, are so important. And that is because they combat oxidative stress. So what is oxidative stress? It's actually the root of disease. So we have free radicals that are moving around in our body all day long, and they're pinging our cells and they're doing damage to our cells. And this is causing stress to our body. But the good news is that when we flood our body with antioxidants, they actually neutralize those free radicals. They actually come along with them and they bind them up and they help them exit our bodies and don't allow them to do that damage. And so the more that we can put antioxidants into our body, the more we can reduce our oxidative stress. And you might ask, well, what causes oxidative stress? Well, there are good things and there are bad things. I mean, really, the fact is, just by living, we have oxidative stress, just by breathing. But some good things cause it, and then some not so good things. So not so good things you might have heard, right? Lack of sleep, a lot of sun exposure, drinking heavily, smoking. Those are things maybe that are going to increase our oxidative stress. But good things too. Being pregnant is a highly stressful thing on the body. Also, exercising. We look at exercise as being a good thing, and it is. But if we're not fueling our body well, when and after we're doing that, then we are creating extra stress on our body and actually could be aging ourselves prematurely. So if you look at this apple, it's a good example of what happens on the inside of our body. We cut an apple in half, and you guys have probably seen this in a fruit salad or something. The apple starts browning. But when I was a girl, my mom always said, sprinkle a lemon on that fruit. And I thought, why in the world? I don't like the lemon on my fruit normally. But this is why, because it stops the browning. But why does it do that? Because it's an antioxidant. And the same thing happens in our body. We stop the rusting or the aging in our body, or at least slow it down. So that's the good news of what antioxidants can do for us. And that's why fruits and vegetables are good for you, but they're so good for you, they could actually save your life. And that was Time Magazine several years ago. Fruits and Vegetables just made Time Magazine last year, the same sort of thing, saying they truly are medicinal. They truly are medicine. So we need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. And if you are pregnant or you are sick or fighting disease or you're an athlete, you need 16 to 20. But we are not getting those. I know that I am not. And why do we need so many? Because we are eating produce that is less nutritious. I know when I was a girl, the government came out with their 5 a day. I don't know if anybody remembers the 5 a day, but that was what it was. And now we've moved up to 7 to 13. And if you hold up your fist, this is what it is: 7 to 13 fist-size servings of fruits and vegetables every day. If you're a toddler, it's 7 fist-size, toddler fist-size. If you're a baby, but an adult, 7 to 13 of these. Another reason why we need to eat so many is they're transported thousands of miles, and so they are, as we said, less nutritionally dense. We're not getting enough servings, and we don't eat enough variety either. So if we are eating, we're eating the same things over and over. I'm sure on the left of your screen, that's a familiar sight to you. I buy them every week. They're green bananas. Now, part of the reason that you need to know why a green banana isn't going to be as nutritious is because it hasn't ripened on the vine. And 80 to 95% of the nutrition of a plant comes into it when it's ripe. That's huge, you guys, because I don't know about you, but I can't get vine ripened produce most of the year. If I go to a farmer's market during growing season, I can do that. But in my grocery store on a day-to-day basis, everything has been picked 2 to 3 weeks early. And even if I ripen it on my counter, I'll never get that nutrition. So this picture shows a great, I think, a picture paints 1,000 words, or whatever that little saying is, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. The iron content in 1953, 1 bowl of spinach, equals now in 1997, 20 plus years ago, you'd have to eat 53 bowls of spinach to get the same iron. And that's just one vitamin mineral. Imagine all the other things that are depleted there. So this is a reason why we try and try, but we're just not able to get what we need. So 50, 60 years ago, the government came up with a multivitamin. They knew we had a bridge that we needed to, a gap that we needed to bridge, but they came up with this solution. Unfortunately, what you see on the left side is 12 to 15 of the whole, of what they thought would be able to help us in this area. But unfortunately, although 70% of Americans are trying to fill gaps this way, we have actually shown that isolated vitamins can do more harm than good. And why is that? Because we need the whole food. We need everything in that food in order to do the work in the body. So our body wasn't made to run on vitamins. It was made to run on whole food. So you look at the right side of the screen, those right there are 400 different phytonutrients. So vitamins, minerals, enzymes that are found in one apple. Now you might think, oh my gosh, that's a lot, but here's the reality. Those are just the 400 that they have named. There are actually over 10,000 phytonutrients in that one apple, and they're all working together. So this is where Juice Plus comes in. What is Juice Plus? Juice Plus adds nutrition from over 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries to your diet. And they do it by picking whole foods that are harvested at that peak ripeness, right? So they are ripened on the vine. They are pulverized. They're not juiced. They're just kind of, if you picture like putting everything in a big blender, not a juicer, but a big blender, and pulverizing it so you have everything. And then they're just dried into powders at low temperatures to preserve nutrition. They are put in capsules or chewables. And we'll talk a little bit later about the omegas as well. But here's a picture of everything that is in that Juice Plus. And I just want you to let your eye look at that because it is gorgeous. You have every color of the rainbow there. And you know, if you followed at all nutritional science, you know that every color of the rainbow does different things. Every food does different things in the body. And there's that apple, the top left corner with its 10,000 phytonutrients. But the amazing thing is every other one of these things has that many or more phytonutrients of its own. Some the same, some different, most of them unnamed. We also have our plant-based omegas. These are wonderful as well. A lot of people bridging the gap between what they get in their diet and what they need. Omegas are essential for our brains and our hearts, joints, skin, and eyes. And 85% of Americans have a deficiency in omegas. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we are not functioning at high levels as we can. In fact, a recent study just came out. My primary doctor actually sent it to me, and saying that they are linking a reduction in omegas with the shrinking of our brains. So they're finding that people's brains are shrinking at a quicker rate when they are depleted in omegas. Now, newsflash, all of our brains are shrinking. By the time that we're 25 on, they do start shrinking. But I don't know about you, if I can slow that process down, I am all for it. So that is what omegas can do in our bodies. Our omegas are different in that there are no fish. They're completely plant-based, so there's no icky fish burps, and there's none of the toxins that come with the fish. Fish don't have omegas anyway. They just go to the plant to get their omegas. And so that's what Juice Plus has done. We grow our own algae, and then we add, as you can see up there, sea buckthorn, pomegranate, raspberry, safflower, and tomato to round it out. It's not just omega-3. We believe they're all important. So there's 5, 6, 7, and 9. And we love them in our house. They taste like orange. And then we have our complete shakes. The great thing about the Juice Plus line is they really focus on just a few things and do them well. So this is the last of our food products, and that's our complete shake. And when we say complete, it really is. It's not just a shake. In fact, I rarely have them as shakes. I turn them into plant cakes or pancakes, as you probably would be familiar with. I make them into energy balls. I make them into these delicious puddings and put all kinds of great toppings on. And it's just like, to me, like a little treat dessert every day. Of course, you can do a shake too, but there are 15 more plants that it's a whole food product that you're getting into your body. So when I take all of my Juice Plus, and I say I eat my Juice Plus every day, when I eat my Juice Plus every day, I am getting the essence of 50 plants every day in my body. It is a soy-based protein, and although there's been some controversy around soy, the recent studies on soy are showing what Juice Plus is obviously known all along, is that soy is one of the most beneficial plants there are. The concern is how it's processed. So as long as it is not genetically modified and not highly processed, you are looking at one complete plant protein that offers so much protection and benefit to people, women in particular. I had just heard an interview by Dr. Christy Funk. She is the surgeon for Angelina Jolie and Sheryl Crow, although many other patients. But she just publicly came out and apologized for 18 years of leading her patients astray when it came to soy. When doing research for her new book that came out last year, she realized she had been wrong. Not only does she recommend soy, she recommends it every single day. So I love that I get that every single day in our shakes. So why is Juice Plus unique? 3 reasons. There's nothing else out there in the market like this. And it's because first, it's food. So it's not a multivitamin. I'm going to reach over here and just grab one of my capsule bottles. So here's the front. And if we turn it around, it's going to say nutrition, just like if you go get a bag of carrots or you go grab a bag of spinach or a can of tomato soup, that's what you're going to see. Now, if you go to your cupboard where I keep my supplements, or, where I have kept my supplements, because really all we do now is Juice Plus, I would find a supplement label, very different. So what this says is this is available to your body. Your body recognizes it and uses it just like it would food. That's a big deal. So no additives, it's made with non-GMO ingredients, it's vegan, kosher, it hits all of those boxes, or checks all those boxes. It's NSF certified, which is a third party, which is a really big deal. Less than 1% of vitamin and supplement companies use this certification. That's because it's expensive and hard to keep, but they are testing at many, many different places throughout the whole process to make sure that nothing is in it at all as pesticides, fungicides, any of sort of chemicals are on our product, no mold, anything like that. So that's just, for me, peace of mind, because unfortunately, organic today does not mean that they're not spraying. It actually gives them a way to spray. They can still spray over 200 things, just at a lesser amount. And then finally, it's the most researched brand name nutritional product in the world, which is amazing. We're actually approaching 40 peer-reviewed published clinical studies. And these are not done at a Juice Plus lab. They're at leading hospitals and universities around the world. If you look closely here, you'll see some very well-known names. And they are the gold standard method. So they're randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. They're tested on the product, on humans with blood. So I love that. I'm a researcher. And so seeing all of this was just huge for me as I was looking and educating myself about Juice Plus. So research results have attracted thousands of doctors. There are over 8,000 medical professionals that share Juice Plus in their offices, which I love. I love that I get to talk about and share the same thing that my doctor talks about and shares with his patients. And these are some of the things they found. Contributes to cardiovascular wellness, supports a healthy inflammatory response, supports quality of life, healthy cholesterol and triglycerides, healthy lung function, skin and gums, immune system, maintains healthy DNA, reduces oxidative stress. So we talked about that earlier. That's the footstool of disease. So when we can reduce that in our body, we are slowing down the disease and aging process. And then most importantly, and why all the other things are true, because it's absorbed by the body. And so Richard DuBois, who was one of the first doctors that recognized Juice Plus, said there's nothing else available any place in the world with or without prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. And what I love about this company, you guys, is that they 25 years ago decided to do the research on food. They were one of the first to start to say food can be proven just as effective as pharmaceuticals. Let's look at it in the same vein and let's show it. And here's the reality. It's showing itself to be just as or more effective with no side effects, right? So here's another amazing research study we have, is that children ages 4 through 18, along with full-time college students, can take Juice Plus up to 4 years with a paying adult sponsor. And we have a study then that those parents will fill out over the time. And this is what it showed, that children were doing better with Juice Plus. 60% were missing fewer days of school. I love the last one, 61% were eating more fruits and vegetables. And you might hear a little bit about that later on in one of the stories. And then our final product, which really complements what we do in the capsules, is we want you to be able to grow and take responsibility for growing your own food, to have that satisfaction. I was doing stuff with my towers today, and there's just a deep satisfaction watching things grow. So these are beautiful. There's an outside or an inside option, using 98% less water, less space, growing more quickly, and safe and nutritious. And there is a study done, University of Mississippi, comparing Soil Garden to a Tower Garden Flex, and actually finding the Tower Garden Flex was more nutritious. And here's why: soil depletion. Our soil is so depleted, and unless we are constantly amending it, we are not going to be growing nutritious produce. With the Tower, you are always putting in the right amount of minerals. So it just is really a wonderful and just brilliant concept. I've really enjoyed having these. We have 2 of them. If you are looking for more of a lifestyle, we have all of these wonderful free resources, cookbooks and coaching, and that's really fun too. There is a whole program around, we call it our Shred 10, and this slide tells a little bit about that. So I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I was really focused on just on my weight and on being thin, and I really thought that was calories, and that calories in, calories out, right? All calories were created equal. But when I became pregnant, I kind of figured out, well, that's a different story, but they weren't created equal. And all I wanted to do was just make sure I could control my weight. So I just would diet or exercise. And I really didn't care anything else about anything else. And we have in our country a lot of that going on. We have a lot of dieting going on, and then the rebound that comes after you stop dieting. And on the top, you see what is going on here. We actually, our body is brilliant in that it is trying to keep us healthy. And so whatever weight we are is the weight we need to be for our body to be as healthy as it can be, because it is storing whatever toxins we have in fat cells. So if we have toxins, then our body is enrobing them in fat to keep them away from our organs. So what happens when we diet, but we don't do anything different about the type of food we're putting in, we just restrict calories, we're not getting rid of the toxins. And we actually can end up feeling worse, the same way when we try to over-exercise and burn the fat. The toxins are still there, so eventually the body will bring it right back, and you will just have that rebound. What Juice Plus is a gentle cleansing every day. It's those antioxidants coming up and partnering with those toxins, grabbing them and taking them out of the body. Then your body doesn't have to keep fat. It doesn't need it anymore, and it can shed it, and you're going to have less fat, you're going to have more muscle, and you won't have that rebound. So it's not about being skinny, it's about being healthy, and Juice Plus is a big part of that. Best thing about Juice Plus is it is affordable. And Leanne, I'm so sorry. I know I have a Canadian. I think I have a Canadian. Let's look at it. There's my Canadian. There's my Canadian price sheet. So it is so affordable. I love that, taking Juice Plus is just a couple dollars a day, and that is much less, right, than a habit that many people have that doesn't serve them well. It's my habit every day, my prevention every day, that I control what I can control every day to make sure I am doing what I need to do. So we invite you at this point to become a Juice Plus customer. We would love for you to inquire about with who invited you, what that looks like. You could become a partner and share Juice Plus with 3 to 5 others. Maybe you're thinking about other people that need to know about this. You could build a side income and join our mission to inspire healthy living around the world. You could just eat more fruits and vegetables. We hope that you have learned a thing or two. Boy, that flew by. At this point, I am going to have Leanne, if you want to just unmute yourself and share with us why you are excited about Juice Plus. And
Yeah, sure. So I just want to thank you guys for coming on, the ones that did decide to join and fit it into their schedule. So thanks again. But I just want to share my experience so far with this company and the products. So it just started a few months ago when I saw a post from Andrea and her kids and these capsules, and I could see the green and the red and the capsules, and her kids are just happy and healthy looking. I'm like, what's this about? This really, it just got my interest. So when I got more into the story on it and I looked into it, I got to know Andrea a bit, and her kids. She had her daughter with tooth decay, and at the time my daughter Katie was going through that as well. Not only that, but the pickiest eater you could ever meet compared to any toddler I've ever heard of anyway, so refused to eat all fruits and vegetables. And I'm thinking that's why she had the tooth decay to begin with, because we generally eat healthy. We don't have a lot of sugary foods, pop or candy or anything like that. So I just figured out it's because she's lacking nutrients. So that's kind of where this product comes in, because it is pure condensed nutrients. And so once I looked into it and got her on that, actually, she was only taking it for a couple weeks. So I hate to admit, but it wasn't a regimen where I could remember every day to, give her her recommended dose. So actually, after 2 weeks of taking it periodically, um, she started eating vegetables just kind of out of nowhere. So the kids, Chase, my kids would have, carrots, celery, and she would be like, "Can I have a carrot? Can I have celery?" And just eating vegetables, asking for apples, all these things that she refused to eat before. So I was thrilled about that. That was definitely overcoming a big hurdle for me because I know she's getting her nutrients. I'm confident in that with this product. So I know with agriculture, especially right now, it's just depleted, the economy, it's just things are going downhill. So it's good to know, it's good to have the reassurance that we're doing something for our health and our immune systems, especially. So, and I'm noticing our immune systems being affected. Even with Katie, the kids had a cold, and meanwhile, Katie's the only one taking the Juice Plus at the time. I didn't have everybody on it, but she just came down with the sniffles, a little bit of the sniffles for a couple days, and then she was good to go. Meanwhile, the other two had it in their chest, and they were coughing and congested for at least a couple weeks. It was one of the worst sicknesses I think we had in a really long time, and this was just near the end of last year. So she just overcame it, and that's not regular. That has never happened before. Usually the routine is we all get sick. So I'm really thrilled about that. We also got our shakes and our gummies a couple days ago. The kids love the gummies. They keep asking for them, but I kind of have to, keep it at a minimum. The shakes, they had shakes for supper. Quick supper tonight. Okay, go outside and play. Banana mixed in. I said, "Do you want anything else? Are you still hungry?" "No, that's it." They were full. "Oh, I'm good. No, I'm full." That was good. Just a shake. And this is what I already know about the product. It's filled with everything you need in a meal. So you feel energetic and full and satisfied, and you wouldn't get that from something synthetic or unnatural. I mean, it's all there, the capsules. So I'm just enjoying having this as part of our regimen every day. So,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, Leanne, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I mean, like you said, like synthetic doesn't produce that same thing. When we're eating whole food, it just tends to stick with us. And you know why? Part of that is the complete. It has all that fiber in it. It has so much fiber that really does fill us up. So thank you so much for sharing. It was great to hear what a good start you guys have had. Andy, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, if you will, and tell us about your Juice Plus story.
Yes. And Lee, I just love that. And I just remember Katie when she started eating her fruits and vegetables and how proud she was. So I just love hearing that story. Thank you for sharing. So yes, I heard about Juice Plus from Julie, and I was so compelled by her testimony, her story, that it was necessary, I thought, that we all get on it. I was looking for something at the time, and it was really my husband who I thought had more of the health issues. So I kind of got him on the whole shebang of the fruits, vegetables, berries, and omegas. And of course, we each sponsored a child. So it just made sense. It was affordable. Like our whole family can take the same thing. It's simplistic. It's amazing. My baby can take it. And so he was having some arthritic stuff and inflammation and some skin issues, and it worked out really well for him. And I was just on the fruits and vegetables, and at the time I really didn't think I had any issues to speak of. But it's funny when you get used to living a certain way, until you feel better, you're like, holy crap, like I was really dealing with, some things. So I've been nursing almost 8 years, and I would get debilitating migraines and just depletion. I'd feel absolutely depleted. Like the life sucked out of you. And so that's something I dealt with on a regular basis. My migraines were several times a month, and I'd heard that our berries were really effective for helping with migraines. So I thought, oh my gosh, if those can help with my migraines, I don't know. I didn't think, sometimes you just don't realize what nutrition can do, how powerful it is. So I went home, I ordered the berries and the omegas, and it's been I don't know, over a year, and I have not had a migraine since. It's amazing to me, even a headache. Like if I'd start to feel pressure in my head, and that's not even happened in a while, I would pop a berry like a Tylenol, and it's bioavailable, so it would actually nip it in the bud. And so yeah, that was awesome for me. But some of the extra benefits, which I really loved, I started taking Juice Plus after I had my daughter, and I was, as a woman, like the cellulite, I'd been like so frustrated with trying to, during pregnancy and trying to get rid of that. The only thing I changed after pregnancy was Juice Plus, and it started going away. Like, I was like, how is this happening? And Julie's like, yeah, you're getting rid of those toxins. Cellulite stores toxins. And I'm like, this is amazing. Why isn't this recommended for cellulite? So that was a huge bonus for me. I obviously was not looking for it to do that. But, I am so grateful just to see how it's helped the friends and people around me and just my family. Like Leanne said, knowing that just the food system is in a poor condition, and that we have something to offer our families that's affordable. And I love it. It gives me a sense of assurance. I call it my family's insurance. So it's definitely what we use to stay on top of health. Thank you for letting me share.
Oh, thanks, Andy. That's so wonderful. And I love, like, what a wife can't relate. Like, this will be really good for my husband. And then it ends up it's just really good for all of you, right? Oh, thank you guys for sharing. I'm going to wrap up just with why I chose to share Juice Plus and how I found the product. Through 3 years ago in April, so last month, I was sitting in a pediatric intensive care unit, and I was not smiling because I was with my 4-year-old son who had been hospitalized for the 4th time in his life for severe asthma. He was hooked up to every machine. He wasn't breathing well, and we would be there for 3 nights before we got checked out after a round of steroids and every other thing that they wanted, to help him with, which I was grateful for at the time. However, when we finally got our diagnosis a couple months later, I'm sitting across from that doctor, and he's letting me know that Elijah has asthma. And even though these things are only happening every 4 to 6 months, they're pretty severe. Clearly, he's in the pediatric intensive care unit, so he's going to need to take daily steroids. And not just one, but there were 4 different prescriptions that he gave me for different times, but 2 of them were daily, and 1 was for something else. And then there was a breathing treatment. And I looked at him and I'm like, but this is only happening every 4 to 6 months. He has to go on steroids every day. He's like, yep, he does. And I left there with a pit in my stomach, and I went to Walgreens and I filled all the prescriptions, but with a pit in my stomach. And then I threw them in the back of my cupboard because I just thought, I just can't. It does not sit right with me to start pumping this little boy full of steroids, which were going to manage his symptoms. And I get that. And I didn't want to be foolish, because when your child is not breathing and his lips are blue, that's something to be concerned about. But at the same time, I knew it was never going to get at the root cause. So whatever was causing this, and hey, newsflash, every disease that we have is caused by something. Even if we can manage the symptoms, we're not touching the cause, right? So I went back to the drawing board trying to figure out asthma. And as I'm doing my research, because I'm a researcher for the last 18 years, I've read book after book and article after article connecting what we eat to disease, right? Nutrition directly impacts the wellness of how we walk out our days. So I'm looking at asthma being caused by inflammation, and that it's an autoimmune disease. I'm learning all kinds of stuff. Meanwhile, I have a neighbor who's been talking to me about Juice Plus probably for about a year. We've been friends. She talked to me about Juice Plus. I kind of dismissed it in that, I don't know, I thought it was a vitamin, and I didn't need another vitamin. I didn't take vitamins. I had figured out early on that vitamins were not available to my body. They just changed the color of my pee, and it didn't make sense to me. So I thought it was a vitamin. She finally gets through to me, or maybe I just opened up my ears. She's like, Julie, it's food. It's just food, and you can get it for free. And then I was like, free? Okay, tell me more. because the company will sponsor, a child if an adult is taking it. So some lady, I don't even know, you don't have to be related to said child, starts sending Juice Plus to us. We start taking it. 2 months, 3 months, 4 months goes by, 5 months goes by, 6 months goes by. Elijah has not had the full, now it's longer than it normally has been. He gets a little asthma, something or other, but for the first time ever, it does not result in a trip to the emergency room. So that is enough to get my attention. So I start looking more closely at the product, look at all this research. Meanwhile, I'm taking the other part of it because I am pregnant, and I figure, well, I'm pregnant with my 8th child. I don't take prenatals because, like I said, I just don't think they're anything my body needs. So, but I thought, well, I'll take the food, right? Well, one thing that I had always struggled with, even though I had taken prenatals earlier on in my pregnancies and then tried to take iron supplements to address my anemia, always was anemic during my pregnancies, never could make my needle move at all. From what's normal hemoglobin is between 12 and 16, mine was like 10.6. So just slightly on anemic, but enough to make me tired and feel run down. Within 4 months of being on Juice Plus, 4 months, my blood levels moved from a 10.6 to a 14.6. 4 points, 4 months. It was crazy. I have never gone back since. So I have more energy than I've ever had. And I just, again, like the iron never touched it. I was doing what they said to do, take iron, but clearly iron needs a lot of other things in the body to work. And Juice Plus, although there's no iron on the label, is full of it because it has the dark leafy greens and plenty of foods, broccoli, all of that have iron in it. So that is why I take time out of my day to share Juice Plus, because I want everybody to know about this amazing, simple solution. So thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and start again.
Hi, so I wanted to add something to my testimony there. I forgot to mention, I don't know how I forgot, but the reason why I brought up Andrea and her child with the tooth decay is because my daughter goes through it too. So she was showing signs all in the front. After taking Juice Plus for about a month and a half, that's when I started noticing it sort of disappear, get lighter. So, sorry, I think I got muted there, but I hope you heard me. So her tooth decay is getting under control over time. And I mean, I'm going to attribute that to her eating more vegetables, obviously. But if it wasn't for Juice Plus, she wouldn't start eating the vegetables and as much as she has been consuming. So that's been under control. It seems like it's going away, and usually with tooth decay it progresses. So I'm really happy about that. I just wanted to add that.
Definitely. Thank you.